everyone. I get you guys for the last 45-ish minutes of the day, so I hope you guys have really enjoyed everything that's been put together for you all so far. It's been a wonderful agenda, and I think you guys have heard from some wonderful speakers. So for you guys that put this together, thank you. This has been awesome. I'm Trisha Turlington. I work for Red Hat. I work as a business development manager for our Red Hat Academy program. In the Red Hat Academy program, I'm going to get into that later in the presentation, but ultimately we provide education to academic institutions so that we can get involved in the community and help build the next generation of IT leaders through that. So Red Hat, as they're leading the change as part of the digital transformation and really investing in the cloud space. You guys have probably heard about Red Hat in the news from the IBM acquisition, but ultimately we really want to work within our communities and help build out that talent pipeline for our customers, but also for Red Hat by getting invested into schools. So who all here has heard of Red Hat and knows a little bit about Red Hat? Most of you guys, awesome. So Red Hat is your #1 provider of enterprise open source software. So more than 90% of the Fortune 500 companies rely on Red Hat. I'm sorry for the way that this is like translated right here, but I think you kind of can see and get the picture. So we have more than 13,000 employees, more than 105 offices globally. We were the first $3 billion open source company, also the first $2 billion, and also the first $1 billion open source company. So Red Hat has a massive footprint. We're continuing to work to innovate technology, and we're continuing to grow. Red Hat's products really infiltrate the market. And as an individual consumer, you might not have utilized Red Hat in your different environments, in your classrooms, within your individual devices, but Red Hat, 100% of airlines, 100% of telcos, 100% of healthcare, and 100% of commercial banks all rely on Red Hat technologies. And that's pretty huge, because when we think of building this next generation of our IT workforce, being able to say that we're building those pipelines for all of these huge industries that just completely pervade the market is such a wonderful contribution. It's something that really we're excited about getting invested more into academics. So do you guys know a little bit about the open source software model and how Red Hat makes money if it's open source and it's free software? Does anyone have any kind of, does anyone want to take a stab at how that works for Red Hat and share? Cool. End of the day. Take it as that. So Red Hat contributes to millions of different projects online. And so if you guys have heard of Red Hat Enterprise Linux, that's pulled down from Fedora, which is the upstream version of Red Hat Enterprise Linux that millions of different people are contributing constantly to that code. So if you guys want to know where's the next version of Red Hat Enterprise Linux going to be, look at where Fedora is and look at what people are contributing to that, because what Red Hat does is they take that code that's open source and widely available online, and they bring that down and bundle that into an enterprise version that's sustainable, that's supported, that has everything that a company would need to just run securely and not have to worry about all the little minor fixes and things that could go on there. So yes, we sell free software, but we sell a support model. And so Red Hat support is wonderful, and it's really continuing to grow. But really a huge part of who we are as a company is continuing to contribute to these upstream versions and upstream technologies. And that's one of the large and most, I would say, many times questions that we get with the whole IBM acquisition is Red Hat going to continue to support this? And are they going to continue to contribute to all of these upstream projects and continue to be such a leader and innovator in the marketplace? And absolutely, that is who Red Hat is at the core. And that's how we build our success, is taking these open source, taking these upstream versions, and then making them widely available. And so as we go into the whole digital transformation, we're really at a change in where technology is. Things are rapidly evolving, from development models to application architectures to deployment and packaging to cloud. We're going from public clouds to private clouds to multi-cloud and hybrid cloud environments. And this is continually starting to shift. And we see this from technology, but a big part of why Red Hat has been successful is it's not just a technology shift for us. It's a cultural shift, it's a processes shift, It's a whole shift in the way that we look at everything, from the teams, from departments, to the company as a whole. Everyone has to buy in. And something really exciting that I don't have on these slides, but our team has recently built out a course for the Red Hat training that companies, if you guys want to go through a whole DevOps type of cultural course, we'll bring in our team for about 2 weeks and just let you guys run through different workshops and different practices and just really see, like, what is the culture like for a true DevOps environment. And that's been one of our most popular and most successful courses lately. And so some of the top business challenges of why is this whole digital transformation happening, and why are companies looking to really move all of their workloads to the cloud and really kind of invest in this new innovative technology. So first of all, number one is to gain efficiency. So reducing reducing costs, and also just making your teams more productive. Increasing agility, so adding and managing clouds, and that's public clouds, private clouds, and hybrid clouds, but moving those workloads from on-premise data centers to the cloud. Improving productivity, so integrating apps, data, processes, being able to take your previous apps and put them onto cloud and new infrastructure, being able to scale, and then to move faster. So to be innovative and to be on the forefront of what's going on in the industry and to continue to build and add value to your business, you have to move fast and you have to constantly be innovative with new applications, and you have to be able to push those applications to market quickly, because if you aren't, somebody else is. And so all of these things together, combined with one of the biggest things that is on kind of the forefront of every company's radar, is security. And having a hybrid cloud environment gives you that more of just kind of a expanse into being secure, a more secure environment. And so this is a quote from someone, Dr. David Bray, who works for People-Centered Internet. At the end of the day, when we talk about technology change, whether it's the Internet of Everything, big data, or machine learning, it's really about people and organizational cultures first and foremost. So we have the technology front, but really it's about changing and shifting that culture, changing our processes, and then the technology comes with that. So the top blocker to digital transformation, does anyone have any idea? Not those 5 challenges that we previously just mentioned. What is the number one thing preventing companies from successfully initiating a digital transformation agenda? Money. Good answer, but not the top. Learning curve. That's a great one too. That's not at the, that kind of plays into it, so I might give you that, actually. So the number one thing is IT talent and skills gap. It's being able to not just help your current employees learn, but also being able to have new employees and prepare the upcoming workforce for the new digital transformation, for new cloud technologies and skill sets, and being able to help them really succeed in this market. So money, technical debt, a lot of those things are up there, but IT talent and skills gap is the number one. And so really what's core to our program with Red Hat Academy and Red Hat is being able to really invest in the next generation of IT leaders. And so we're looking at millennials and what's going to inspire millennials and what's going to make them successful. And we know that they are very passionate people. We know that they are very, very they want a culture that is continuing to inspire them to grow, that's collaborative, that they're constantly learning and they're constantly giving feedback. And when we look at the old kind of approach to businesses, the conventional organization, it's top down. So it's kind of, you have your leader at the top and he's pushing all these ideas down and you're executing. But that's not really conducive to what millennials are valuing in the workplace and motivating them to want to stay and to learn and grow. And so what Red Hat's done, and I don't know if you guys have heard of this book, The Open Organization, and actually I'll have to point out, Randall and Brandon from Murray State actually contributed a chapter to one of our latest books for this. So if you guys get the one for educators that just was released last week, it actually has a chapter from Murray State instructors in there, which is awesome. And so we're always looking for people to contribute to these to these books. And our CEO wrote the first one that was just titled The Open Organization. And what that does is kind of show how he's taken open source code and the open source development model and how he's built that into how he manages the entire company in Red Hat. And so it starts with motivating and inspiring purpose and passion. And you kind of see how, as you go up, It's all about a meritocracy, so the best idea wins. It's not the CEO at the top pushing that down to the bottom. It's if you're an intern or you started a day ago, if you have a great idea, share that, and if that's the best idea, that's what Red Hat's going to go with, and that's what Red Hat's culture is about. And so what does this kind of look like more detailed out, and what is Red Hat's culture and open source culture? So starting off, we have communities. It's all about collaboration. It's all about leveraging those communities and learning from each other, but also being able to share ideas with one another, share problems with one another, because you're going to come to answers quicker. So open standards, that really goes towards the meritocracy aspect. It's not someone just coming and saying, this is how we're going to do things. It's really just opening everything up to say, if you have an idea, share it, because the best idea is going to come from everyone sharing ideas together. Transparency, honesty, authenticity, and then shared problems are solved faster. So it really allows you to innovate, but then work on what you're passionate about as well. So how does this all relate to the cloud? Any questions so far on Red Hat's culture or anything like that? Good, awesome. So we're talking about the digital transformation and first having that cultural shift, having those processes shift, but also the most important thing, so we've surveyed a ton of companies here, the most important thing to ensuring organizational digital transformation efforts succeed is cloud and implementing those cloud technologies. And so how we think about the business, what got us here isn't going to get us there. So most companies, they've started on their cloud journey. They're maybe about 20% into that. But this whole second phase is really about leveraging that hybrid cloud model. So security is always something at the forefront of a challenge that we need to overcome and figure out how do we best address that issue. We've got growing mountains of data that we need to process, that we need to store, that we need to figure out what's the most secure way to really leverage this data and use it for, if we're looking at machine learning or artificial intelligence, whatever you might be interested in pursuing, making sure we're optimizing that. The need for integration between workloads, and then the need to scale up and scale down quickly. And so Red Hat, we believe the open hybrid cloud is what enables this. So Red Hat offers a private cloud environment that we support, but we partner with a lot of public cloud environments or public cloud offerings where then they can build a hybrid cloud model. Because the hybrid cloud model is the one that it's going to be the quickest, it's going to be the most adaptable, and it's going to be the one that's most catered towards your needs. Now, who here has heard of Red Hat Openshift? You guys? So Red Hat Openshift is Red Hat's enterprise Kubernetes platform. And so Red Hat Openshift is really, it's the key to our partnership with IBM. It's really the first open hybrid cloud model available into market. And this kind of gives you an overview of Red Hat Openshift and where it fits in here. But it runs on the enterprise Linux Core OS. So it takes Red Hat's core, and it allows us to really help those businesses scale and move into that cloud market. So who here knows about containers? A few of you guys? It's all kind of new. So containers, I guess the best description I can give you for containers is take like JCrew or your favorite shopping site and their website, right? And say on a normal day, they probably get a little bit of traffic, but then say it's Black Friday and they're running all these sales. Containers allow those companies to scale up and then scale back down and be able to really like manage between the different streams that they need to whenever it's most efficient for them. So companies aren't wasting all of these resources by having this massively scaled up operation all of the time, but then they're not also missing out on business because they don't have the ability to scale up quickly. And containers allows them to do that. So it uses the same infrastructure, but then allows companies to move up and down what's going to best meet their needs and the best time frame. And so why Red Hat customers choose Red Hat Openshift? So containers, they're the core of this whole new model of moving to the cloud and the whole digital transformation. And Red Hat Openshift is the first true container Kubernetes application platform. And so being able to offer this to our customers, it's the trusted enterprise Kubernetes cloud-like experience, empowers developers, so it's very focused on developing applications and allowing companies and customers and developers to launch applications quickly and develop them within the model that they want to develop them. And then it's all driven and inspired by open source, and that's the core of who Red Hat is. So it's not, say, one customer can solve all of your problems. It's leveraging every single person to work together and being a catalyst in that community to really drive these efforts. And this slide just highlights a few of our customers that leverage Openshift and just kind of the impact that Red Hat's making by offering this first true hybrid cloud model in addition or in parallel with IBM. And you see that we have companies from Delta to Kohl's to hospitals to government to almost anything. And I think what's so great about this is that this shows our students and this shows our academic and our community just the opportunity that students have by learning these technologies and the need for all of these skill sets, but also just how far and pervasive that it is that they have the opportunity to go and work for all of these great companies. And so how does this all relate back to Murray State and you and me being here today? So Red Hat Academy is what I had first mentioned whenever I was going through what we'd be talking about. And so companies with this huge IT talent and skills gap, there's 3 ways that we can solve this and fill that skills gap. So you can build, we have Red Hat training, you can train your workforce, you can train your team, you can help them build out those skills. You can rent, so you can outsource from a consulting agency, you can bring someone in that's going to kind of help from a high level, understand your problems, and then help you also solve those problems. Or you can buy, and that's where Red Hat Academy comes in. So Red Hat Academy is Red Hat's program where we are investing into academic communities, and we're giving schools the exact same training, the exact same curriculum, the exact same opportunity that we would be selling to commercial customers. We give it to schools free for them to leverage into their classrooms what's going to best fit their model and best fit their structure and best benefit their students. And our ultimate goal with all of this is to partner with schools like Murray State and being able to invest in students to learn those skill sets and what's going to help give them real enterprise experience and real enterprise scenarios. So Red Hat Academy program, it provides the core foundation of all of Red Hat's technologies free to academic institutions. It provides curriculum that's built by our engineers. It's built off of real scenarios that they face in the field. It's hands-on labs that they get to actually practice these skill sets without a school having to invest in the technology and having to invest in, saying, purchasing subscriptions to Red Hat. They have the real simulation right there for free. We give instructors free training. We offer students discounts on certification exams to help with that as well. And then we really try to get involved with programs as best as we can. And so this slide highlights just kind of how the Linux administration role has adapted through the years. So in 2005, we had just your normal Linux administrator on your physical systems on premise. And then we're slowly starting to adapt. And we see in 2019, Linux administrators, they're not asking for just your core Linux administrator anymore. When someone's looking for a Linux administrator, they're looking for automation skills. They're looking for someone to have some kind of knowledge in containers and container orchestration. They're looking for so much more than just those core old Linux skills that used to be 10 years ago. And that's why Red Hat wants to invest in education, invest in training, because we have these engineers that are in the field, and we have engineers that see this daily, and they can come bring that content to the classroom and bring that updated stuff to our customers as well. In other ways, and I'm really sorry for formatting, kind of getting off here, but other ways that we've gotten involved as well is we started to build out a student ambassador program. So one of our student ambassadors is here today, Damon. And so we're starting to work with students to see what can we do to support them and motivate them and help them grow, and also how can we use students to reach other students and help evangelize that way. We're starting to offer technical workshops, so maybe if it's on a Saturday or after hours, or you still want to learn some new opportunity or new technology, we have that as well. And then getting involved by giving guest lectures and on-campus events. So being able to speak to students of what's it like a day in industry, and what's it like when you're actually applying these technologies that you're learning in the classroom, yeah, but what's it like to actually go and work in industry and actually apply them there. And so being able to really kind of wrap our arms around schools and communities and being able to kind of build them along this journey so that they are ready for the digital transformation, all these other new innovative things that are going on. Another way that you can get involved that I just want to mention really briefly is our Red Hat learning community. So if you're not in school or you're not taking classes, but you want to just kind of communicate or learn from other Red Hat engineers. So if you go to learn.redhat.com, this is a peer-to-peer learning community that I say is similar to like a Facebook. And so if you have passion about a certain Red Hat technology or open source, and you want to ask a question, or you want to hear from our experts, or you want to hear from our curriculum team or developers, post it here or read some of the articles or read their blogs, watch their videos. It's just such a great platform for collaboration around Red Hat training, and Red Hat products. And then lastly, if you want to learn about Openshift, a little bit more technical, there are tons of free workshops at learn.openshift.com, and these are ones that start from just kind of the bare entry level of just learning what is the product, but then also going further and letting you work through certain environments and learn different skill sets that are a part of being that, working with those in industry. I mean, I just wanted to share those two in case you guys are interested after this. And that's all that I have for you guys today. Do you guys have any questions about Red Hat technologies, the digital transformation, what we're doing with IBM, and what our Red Hat Academy program is? Anything that I can share with you guys? Yeah?
Is this akin to the Red Hat Developers Network?
I'm sorry?
The Red Hat Developers Network?
Yeah.
How closely cousin is the Learning Network?
They're all involved on it. So we try to make this as inclusive around Red Hat as a community as possible. So we try to encourage anyone that has a Red Hat certification ID. They have a separate private platform on the learning community. There's a lot of just different opportunities that people with different interests can get involved.
What about internships for students, like they get involved in
Yeah, Red Hat has a wonderful intern program, and so they hire about 200 interns every year. They post roles in October, so they post roles in the fall for the upcoming summer. They typically only hire them through summer, but it's a wonderful opportunity where students get to showcase what they've done throughout that summer in an intern fair and show it to different teams and kind of work together and learn from different Red Hat leaders. And so it's a wonderful opportunity. I will say that students have to be located in Raleigh, North Carolina, or we have opportunities in Washington, D.C., and then in Boston. But within those three areas, if students are willing to relocate there, it's a great opportunity. And it's a very well-paid internship, too.
How closely aligned is the Red Hat, say, certification with the LPI or Linux Professional Institute type? You got two different certifications, but they still use the same product. A lot of times they use the same product, stuff for learning.
Right. It's similar. So to kind of give you a comparison, the LPI covers about 60% of what leads to our first certification exam. So the Red Hat Certified Systems Administrator is your core Red Hat certification for anything that you're going to pursue in Red Hat, whether that's going into containers, going into being a senior engineer, or just wanting to be a systems administrator. And so the LPI, so LPIC 1 and LPIC 2, so those first two courses, cover about 60% to our RHCSA. And then I would say the one difference is the security focus within Linux administration is what ours extends beyond into. Well, if no more questions. I guess we'll wrap up for the day, and thank you guys for having me. If you guys do have questions, feel free to email me there. But thank you guys so much.